Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a little bit of a interesting game that someone said that he just had to have cast. So it's gonna be Zerg. It's Young as the blue Zerg. Meanwhile, we have Hellcookie spawning as the red Terran. Back over here we have Montaka, or is it Montka? Also, I'll call him Montka as the teal Protoss, and then finally Ebel Ebelin as the purple Terran. Now, right off the bat, you'll see there's some interesting play. We already have a very early SCV coming out, and this SCV is not doing any scouting. He's going to be putting down a proxy barracks. So a proxy barracks now being placed down, along with an additional proxy pylon being placed down as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a cheese matchup, but this game was fairly interesting. I decided not to cover up this the timer over here just because this is more of an entertainment match than anything else. If you're looking for like the most Gosu, most epic game ever, this is not it, but this is one of those games that was fairly fun to watch. Now Young's going to be coming in with this drone, and the first thing he's going to figure out when he hovers into this base, Daisy the drone going to come in here, he's going to see that there is no pylons in the base of Montka. On top of that, he does see that there are a fair number of probes, so he knows that there is some sort of proxy pylon somewhere, and there's the pylon right there. Ebelin also going to be finishing with this barracks in just a moment, and going to be chopping down a second barracks as well, so the cheese is going to be underway. Back over here, Hellcookie, I'm just going to leave the production overlay. Hellcookie now getting down a barracks as well, getting a barracks and also getting a refinery, most likely for some sort of tech lab push. SCV now going to be dropping down a second barracks as double gateways now being pressed in. So this is a very aggressive all-in tactic with double racks, double gateway proxy here on this map. Ebelin back over here not getting any gas either, so no gas essentially means that it's going to be all Marines, no reactors, no Marauders, nothing like that for quite some time. One Marine sitting here and now chrono boosting this gateway, so these units are going to be able to push on up. Montka not even producing any additional probes either, just pretty happy sitting on 9 probes, able to I believe produce 2 zealots per time, or 2 zealots per time it takes to build one right over there, if I remember my calculations correctly. Also more Marines still being produced as well, a single queen, so it's going to be standard play versus a little bit of cheese play in that back. Spawning pool is up, and now we are getting into a roach warren, and Young, curious as to trying to figure out what exactly the strategy is, going to go ahead and scout out with this Overlord, and will quickly find this whole entire proxy setup over here, as there are now Zealots, Probes, and Marines now coming into this base, and that is just a very strong army. Young has nothing to really counter this, so now comes this Queen. A Queen gonna try to do some fighting, but this is not gonna work out well. That Queen doesn't have anywhere really to go. Drones need to come off the line in order to fight. That Queen does not have anywhere that can really go, and down it's gonna go. And Zealots now coming in, taking down these drones as well, so Young having a little bit of a problem there. Down goes that original Queen. Now in comes a Reaper. Reaper, however, getting taken down, so those drones not doing their job. And we also have some Marines guarding the front door, so now in comes another Reaper. Reaper trying to focus down more of these, trying to focus on those Marines. And still, that Reaper should have jumped down to this low ground. A couple of roaches come in to do a little bit of an engagement as well. Those drones should have been re-engaging on these Zealots, and perhaps microwing these units in addition to try to fight back even further. More Marines coming in. Drones should really be joining in on this fight, as these roaches are still going to get taken down fairly easily. Down that last unit goes. Should have been focusing down the Marines. Those Marines with that range of 5 able to outshoot a single a Reaper there. So drones now being forced to pull away, and as more Zealots kind of come in, a couple of Marines gonna go and try to chase down more of these drones as well. So Marines just sitting there and attacking, not doing that little bit of a move and attack, so unable to really dish out the maximum amount of damage, trying to move in between the cooldowns. Hellcookie now moving out with these Reapers. Now at this stage in the game, Hellcookie realizes that he cannot really save his partner, as there's just too many units sitting over here. However, he could have tried to take down this pylon over here perhaps, and dish out the damage that way. Reapers are going to now be rushing into the base of Ebelin, and Ebelin, because he was doing pretty much an all-in strategy, doesn't have really anything he can do to try to counteract this whole entire fight. SCV is now trying to come off the line, trying to do a little bit of fighting as well, but they're going to get focused down. So very nice Reaper micro here, trying to dish out as much damage as possible. Back in the base over here, drones still sitting around as the main army now coming in as well, but these Reapers are now just taking down all of these SCVs. So SCVs are now having a problem as well. Marines coming out to try to do a little bit of an engagement, try to take down those Reapers, but those 3 Reapers are able to essentially single shot a Marine there, and now attempting to take down this barracks, but barracks now lifting off as well, along with the command center. Back over here, as SCV is now doing a little bit of an engagement, the Zealots acting as a very strong wall against the rest of those units here, so Hellcookie now in a little bit of trouble as well, now lifting off his buildings. He's sitting on 1,100 minerals, so he will be able to produce still produce a fairly decent amount of units. Young now coming in with some of these drones, trying to take down these Marines, but that is not what you want to be doing with those drones, and ends up losing a lot of drones here. Young now is trying to put down a hatchery here in order to get some additional minerals as well, trying to extend this game longer. The main base over here has been taken down. Reapers now, for some reason, taking on these supply depots. This is not a smart call. He should not be focusing down those supply depots. And now the command center now coming in really needs to cancel this hatchery. But if he cancels this hatchery, the problem is going to be that by canceling this hatchery, he's going to lose some of those minerals as well. Reapers now coming into the main mineral line of Montka. So Montka now losing a lot of these probes as well. And now, as there's now going to be, what, 4 Reapers against a single Reaper there. Ebelin going to lose that single Reaper without even getting a single, one shot off. As this Nexus now going to get taken down. The Nexus obviously cannot lift off. These probes now running away desperately, sitting on 550 minerals, will be able to set up an additional, or set up a new Nexus as well. But that one probe should not have been gathering gas, probably should have been gathering additional minerals. Now, Probe's trying to focus down and take down that last drone down to 7 hit points, and down to 3, may get focused down unless he's actually trying to micro it away, trying to get it away. Sees that there's a space here, and now Ebelin comes in with 1 Reaper and able to finish that off. So Zealots and Marines with a single Cybernetics core to the north. Command center sitting here, and now Hellcookie coming down and producing some Marines as well. So these Marines are going to be used in order to try to focus down that command center, since the Reapers cannot attack air. So that's really the whole entire point of that. Young probably should have moved this this drone over here to the Zelnaga watchtower as well. Now Marines coming out in order to fight down this command center. Needs to get in front of it. What you want to do is that command center will always run away from whatever the missile attack is. So if you can run it around so that the command center runs in the opposite direction, you would get a longer attack time. Now this pylon also getting taken down as well. So these 2 gateways no longer powered. Going after the tech lab, making sure that no more Reapers can be produced. And now Ebelin is going to be supply locked in a moment as well. There are barracks just floating around. Still has this one command center. That command center trying to get away from that Marine. That Marine will not be able to shoot it down though, as there's enough room on this map to really hide these buildings in these corners away from the range of 5 on a Marine back over here. So now Reaper is taking down this final building, and now in comes one Stalker. So that Stalker trying to shoot down some of these Reapers. Reapers could have just jumped up here and then used this high ground, focused down these Stalkers and these Marines, and prevented those units from really chasing them down. And that's really it. The problem now is Hellcookie is now down to 70 minerals. Looking at Ebelin is now sitting at 0 minerals, and looking at back over here, we have Young sitting on 735 minerals. So Young probably in the best situation in this game, trying to produce another hatchery and trying to get this game underway. Montka also trying to get another Nexus up and running, trying to start mining out from this position. Reapers will, however, find this position fairly early and going to go after some of these probes. But there are some Marines coming in. Those Reapers should have been able to finish off those units fairly easily, and down they go. So now there's only a group of Zealots coming in. So those Zealots are now going to get focused down as those Reapers, once again, microing those units away. Perhaps lifting off some of these barracks and trying to get an additional site to be able to shoot onto that high ground would have been a very good choice, but very nice Reaper micro, focusing down these units. The Reapers trying to come back in, however, going to get run straight headlong into those Zealots. So those 4 Zealots trying to fight off against those Reapers, and those Reapers now being forced to pull away once again. One Stalker sitting over here. and Hellcookie sitting with still a couple of supply depots. No real reason to drop a tech lab if you do not have SCVs to build any build any supply depots, and that was really a waste of minerals there. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay, and yeah, thanks for listening so far.